Okay, I think I should be back. Hopefully this fixes the delay, though I'm not even certain if any of the things on my side were causing it or not. Yeah, test. It is better? Okay, well, then I'm slightly unhappy about me being the cause, but at least I'm happy that it did get fixed, so yeah, welcome back. This is an easy mulligan. I only boarded like Sky Sovereign for one Metamorph, I think. But yeah, I could also see Dismember, and I could also see boarding nothing. You want to be pretty light on your sideboarding against these matchups. My hand is pretty medium, but Chalice on 1 is pretty decent against his deck. And then I can like revoke the deck Faden, the usual, maybe Phyrexian Metamorph, something useful, but yeah, we'll see. I definitely think I want to run this out on 1 more than I wanted on 0, especially because he didn't play any Moxen on 0 on his own first turn. And this slows me down as well, so I want to delay it a little bit. Now is the interesting spot whether I want to run my Foundry Inspector into the Force of Will and get myself time walked, or just play multiple cheaper things, but then I don't have as explosive of a start. Yeah, I think I'm going with the multiple cheaper things. Also gives me a little bit more protection against deck Faden, both because I'm naming deck Faden and because like just having multiple creatures is nice. But yeah, they can like Hercules recall me pretty badly. They can abrade me here pretty badly, or Ancient Crutch. It does threaten more damage, yeah. Well, no, Inspector plus Overseer threatens more damage. But that's assuming this resolves. And the big problem with the Inspector is that it might not resolve. Okay, so Wear Tear. No more Chalice for me. I guess that means I chose the right thing on Chalice, but that was already... No, not Pyroclasm. That's disgusting. Well, I guess it's time to go all in and hope they don't deck Faden me. Or Force of Will here. Because I need to keep the pressure up. I guess I can theoretically Sphere, but then my Steel Overseer doesn't... Well, yeah, probably Sphere is better just because I don't want to play Overseer and then they... It's still alright. The reason I wanted to do this is because if I play Foundry, Inspector, and Overseer, and then they Snapcaster Pyroclasm, I'm just incredibly crushed. And here, their Snapcaster Pyroclasm costs 6 mana instead of 4, so it becomes much less of a reality for my opponent. Still in trouble here, dealing a ton of damage to myself, so they get very quick counterplay whenever they find Young Pyromancer or Mentor. And also they dealt with all of my disruption, traded efficiently with their removal against my threats, and I'm not putting enough pressure on my opponent. Yeah, this sucks. I think I even want to not take the damage rather than waste it on my opponent. Pretty strong draw. Removal into removal into removal. Into Treasure Cruise deck Faden, yeah. Not winning this one. Yeah, I even lose the race to my Steel Overseer. If I like Ancient Tomb copy a Steel Overseer or something. Yeah, that was pretty crushing. I think I still like the way that I sideboarded, maybe even less Metamorphs. They have so much spot removal that like Precursor Golem seems pretty sketchy. Yeah, I think I'll just run it back and hope that being on the play and having a slightly better draw is going to be enough. Spyglass is pretty mediocre. Basically, it only hits deck Faden, and then even there you're like you're down a Spyglass and they're down a deck Faden, but then still you want to be the beatdown and not the reactive side. So spending like 2 mana on a card that only deals with one of their cards, and you have to do it before they cast their deck Faden. So I mean, you can look at their hand, but there's not a lot of variety in what you can name. Like basically only, I mean, sometimes you can hit their fetch lands or something, but yeah, it doesn't hit mana abilities. So like hosing them because they have multiple scouting turns in their hand, or like naming deck Faden are the only 2 applications. Doesn't seem too great. I think I'll lead on Sphere. I mean, my draw is very awkward once the Sphere is on the board, but that makes it so that their turn 1 cantrip doesn't work for them, and they can't develop like mana rocks, or I mean they can cast like Mox into Mox, but it's more difficult for them. Probably still deck Faden, because they definitely don't have a 1 mana, a 0 mana artifact. So basically, if I name an artifact, it would only be Soul Ring, and then they need to tap 2 mana for Soul Ring, and if they do that, I copy my Revoker and name Soul Ring. So yeah, deck Faden seems smarter. Though, yeah, my creature is likely to die. Yeah, I think you just, like, many of your main deck cards are much better than all the sideboard cards. Theoretically, you can have Dismember, Spyglass, and like even Precursor can situationally be good, but all of them are probably worse than the cards in your main deck. And then you're just boarding cards for the sake of boarding cards instead of actually improving your deck. That's a decent land. Though strip mining them is also tempting. 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess let's Trinisphere first. And then next turn I'll start strip mining, though then they still get to cast 1 spell, so potentially they'd blow up my Trinisphere. Could be bad. I cannot cast anything actually, because both of those cost 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, only 3 floating. Okay, sure. So yeah, if this next turn is good for my opponent, then I might be in trouble, and if it's bad, then they pretty much die, because I strip mine them back out of Trinisphere range, and then yeah, they get killed. Do that now, because then they have to decide on a spell, and their creature removal gets worse. This is one of those spots where I would even be happy to see Ancestral Recall. Not happy to see that one. Is it Steel Overseer? Is it Chief of the Foundry or the second sphere? Like copy a sphere. But then copy a sphere, I don't have a lot of pressure. It's not great. But it does make it pretty difficult for them to cast stuff as well. I think I just Chief. Still can't cast this because it costs 4, even with Phyrexian. That heart kind of screwed over your... you apply this first and then Trinisphere after. So if it costs 2, for example, you have to pay 3 and not 4. So because it goes from 2, so let's say a Braid or whatever, Abrade makes it so Sphere says Abrade now costs 3 instead of 2, and then Trinisphere says, okay, you cost 3, that's alright, you can stay the way you are. And you don't apply this first. Basically, this is always the last thing you do. If it is cheaper than 3, then it has to become 3, and if it's already more expensive than 3 through Sphere of Resistance or whatever else, then it just stays the way it is. So Trinisphere is always like the last line of defense, the last thing that is getting applied. So kind of want to copy this, but I'm so weak to deck fade. And then what did Rich do with his preordain bottom? Well, let's see if it resolves first, but I can't kill my Cleave in response. Deck Faden is just such a pain in the ass. But I think I need to close out this game. Yeah, I'll go for the higher risk line. Have a bunch of power on the board with a little bit of disruption. That's also better against removal. If they have more lightning bolts in their hand, then that doesn't solve the board position, because now both of them have 4 toughness. Oh my god. You kidding me? Well, I get to keep one of my things because the Sphere already makes the original Shattering Spree more expensive, but that's still very annoying. Well, at least I'm happy. Well, no, I'm not happy. If I had chosen Sphere, that would have been better for me. They could only blow up 1 thing instead of 2. God damn it. Stop. Okay, once again naming deck Faden. Yeah, that's not going well. Well, I guess building 4 toughness creatures was the right attempt at building a board that they can't deal with against the probably 4 lightning bolt deck. But yeah, Shattering Spree kind of blew that up. Well, they deck fade my Inspector probably. Wow. Another Shattering Spree. This is pretty hateful. I mean, that makes sense, because I'm playing the like level 1 best deck in the format, and they have to have hate for it, otherwise they're not going to get far in the format. But still feels pretty bad getting demolished here. Not literally though, with how much removal they have, they might even have demolish. Okay, that was a pretty great draw. Well, I have to hope they don't force a full me, but still. Now I get to attack the Jace and Ballista it down, assuming my Ballista resolves. And then I have a huge threat on the board that is even Lightning Bolt proof, though they can Snapcast or Shattering Spree to get rid of it. No, come on. Yeah, keep getting destroyed. Well, copying the second Sphere would have worked out better in hindsight. But I think, considering they have so many lightning bolts in their deck, it was a reasonable attempt to just make 2 3/4s and try to attack with those 2 or 3 times. Because then it's very possible that like lightning bolt or pyroclasm are stuck in my opponent's hand. Only 3 cards and an active Jace, you mean? Wait, I should not have taken damage there unnecessarily. That was dumb. I mean, yeah, like pretty much any of their spells kill me. They pitch attacks in probe too. To forcible, but yeah. Like whenever they draw an answer, they can start brainstorming, and if they're not drawing an answer, then we keep. I'm not stream sniping. Oh. Oh, is Boko stream sniping? Oh, guessed, okay. I mean, if they have both, then he's getting banned. I don't want people to be stream sniping on my behalf. And I don't, like, I'm not the type of person to stream snipe myself, and like, I know that Rich is not the type of person to stream snipe me, so that would be pretty dumb if people post like his hand in my chat, then I would just be banning you. If that's actually the case, I will go watch the VOD afterwards, and if that's actually his hand, then you're still getting banned. Okay, I'm just dead. Ah, yeah, this is the deck that Chubby Rain made, I think. And Chubby Rain, I think, won last week with it, so maybe it's actually super good. Who knows? Definitely seems to be beating up workshops pretty well. Okay, this Revoker is never dying, right? So let's start attacking phase. I mean, attacking the Jace is a losing battle regardless, so most likely I'll just die to Snapcaster Bolt here next turn. I did take 2 extra damage that I didn't have to. But I don't think it really came down to that. I'm so far away from winning. Feels bad, man. Well, I made the top 8 and then got crushed by a pretty hateful control deck. This looks pretty sweet what he's playing. Looks really well set up to beat shops. I mean, yeah, playing shops is good, but you have to play shops or anti-shops. Yeah, exactly. 16 pieces of artifact hate. Well, GG to Richie. He dismantled me pretty badly. And what do I get? 25 turtle chests, and so that's like 80 ticks or something of